Hey you, do you like overcomplicated things? Do you want a weapon that will give mechanical engineers nightmares? Do you like pretending you are smarter than you are, like me? Oh boy, do I have the weapon for you. The Charge Blade. The Charge Blade is a Sword and Shield X hybrid that makes no flipping sense. The Charge Blade is a weapon where you charge files that enhance the weapon's elemental abilities. Yeah, it still makes zero sense. So let's get into an overcomplicated explanation of how it works. Seriously, there is nothing simple about this weapon, so even if I did try to dumb it down, it wouldn't help. Like, for God's sake, this weapon makes no sense. Still love it though, it's my favorite weapon in Monster Hunter. Let's get into a quick explanation of how it works, shall we? It's not going to be quick. Not at all. Oh, where to begin? The Charge Blade is a weapon that has two forms. One when it's a sword and shield, and then one when it's an axe. You can swap between them by pressing M5 plus M1. While using it in sword form, doing damage to the monster and blocking damage with guard will charge these things called files. When your files are highlighted yellow, it will give you 3 files when you store them. When red, it'll give you 5. When glowing red, it will still give you 5, but most of your attacks will glance off the monster as if your sharpness was red, even on weak monsters, so store them when you can. And believe me, you'll hardly ever find a point in time where you don't use your files, so don't worry about wasting, considering you also get them just from doing your job. Anyways, when you have files stored, you'll be able to use them to unleash the weapon's elemental attacks in axe form. While using axe form, you can use basic attacks that don't do element damage or use elemental discharge attacks which do elemental burst depending on the weapon you have and consume a file. And now, this is when the weapon gets, well, complicated. This weapon requires a lot of prep work to get it to its full potential. So, while in axe form, you can do a combo of elemental discharges, and once you get to the amped elemental discharge, you can hit M5 to do a round slash to store files in your shield. The more files you have when doing the round slash, the longer the duration of the shield's charge. You can go right into the amped elemental discharge right after a basic axe attack by hitting M1 and M2. You can even do this after the morph slash. And before we go any further, there are two types of amped elemental discharges depending on if your shield is charged or not, as seen in these clips. And for the record, from now on I'm going to use PC terms when referring to key presses, so it'll be easier for everyone to understand. Anyways, moving on. Once your shield is charged, the next time you store files, you can charge your sword while holding down M1. Yes, with the charge blade, you can actually charge your blade. Who'd have thought? And once your sword and shield are charged, attacks with those weapons do elemental bursts as well, like the axe. Although this isn't in the demo, there are two types of files if I remember correctly, impact and elemental. Impact files are typically on your ailment weapons like poison and blast, while elemental ones are, well, on elemental weapons like fire, ice, water. Impact files, unlike elemental files, can cause stun buildup like the hammer as long as you hit the burst on the monster's head, while elemental files just take advantage of a monster's elemental weakness if you have the right element, of course. So that's the basics of the Charge Blade. I guess soon enough I'll do an advanced guide to all the weapons, but for now let's stick to this. Anyways, now onto the wire bug attacks. The first wire bug attack is called Morphing Advance. Morphing Advance uses a wire bug to launch you forward and morphs your weapon into axe form. While in motion, monsters' attacks won't be able to knock you back or stun you. I didn't know this part until I started working on this video, so I don't really have clips for that, sorry. The second wire bug attack is counter peak performance. It will ready your weapon, and if you get hit while your weapon is ready, your files will be maxed. And if your shield is charged, after you counter, you can press M1 to automatically charge your sword. This has to be my favorite addition to the Charge Blade by far. But man, where is my Savage Axe? Anyways, I think that's about all the Charge Blade has to offer. The Charge Blade has to be my favorite weapon in Monster Hunter, so you might see me using it a lot when the game releases. Anyways, I hope y'all did enjoy this video, and please let me know what you think in the comments below, and make sure you tell me if I missed anything. But for now, enjoy these Charge Blade clips. Anyways, I'm Zane, and I'll see you next time, Hunters.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I down. have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're